Hello, everyone, and welcome to Episode 2 of our journey toward becoming an ASNT NDT Level III. My name is Yalapa, and today we are focusing on the most critical document for your career, the SNT-TC-1A 2024 edition. This presentation serves as your ultimate roadmap to certification. Whether you are a Level 2 looking to move up or an engineer entering the field, understanding how the American Society for Non-Destructive Testing structures these guidelines is essential for your success. Let's get started. Let's look at what SNT-TC-1A actually is. It is a recommended practice. This document establishes a general framework for a qualification and certification program. It provides recommendations for education, experience, and training across different test methods. Now pay attention to line 9. This recommended practice is not intended to be used as a strict specification. For example, if a contract requires a program that meets the intent of this document, the purchaser and supplier must agree on the employer's program. In this document, the word should is used to emphasize a recommendation. However, it is the employer's responsibility to modify these guidelines in a written practice. In that written practice, the word shall must be used instead of should to make those requirements mandatory. In the NDT industry, we recognize three main types of certification programs. 1. Individual certification programs. 2. Employer certification programs. 3. Third-party or central certification programs. Understanding which one you are working under is vital for knowing where your certificate is valid. An individual certification occurs if the certification is done by an institute in accordance with SNT-TC-1A and their own written practice. For example, if you attend an outside school and they issue you a certificate, you must remember that this certificate is typically not valid after you leave that institute. It stays with the entity that issued it. This is the most common path. In this program, training is given to the employee, and the employer verifies their qualifications. The employer uses standards like SNT-TC-1A, CP-189, or NACE 410 to set the rules. The employer is responsible for verifying the candidate's training, experience, and examination results. If any of these three requirements are not met, the certificate cannot be issued. Central certification is handled by independent bodies. ASNT handles ASNT Level III. NDT handles PCN Levels I, II, and III. ISNT and TWY, CSWIP, also offer their own tiered levels. Each of these bodies has its own set of rules for qualification and certification that you must follow exactly. Section 1.1 states a fundamental truth. The effectiveness of NDT depends on the capabilities of the people performing it. This recommended practice provides guidelines for personnel who perform, witness, monitor, or evaluate NDT. If these guidelines are not appropriate for a specific employer's needs, they should review and modify them in their written practice. But be careful. Modification can alter details, but it shall not eliminate basic provisions like training, experience, testing, and recertification. Any modification must have a technical rationale provided in an annex. Expect at least one exam question from this section. Employer. The entity that employs personnel directly or indirectly for wages or fees. This includes supplemental workers from agencies, provided they are addressed in the written practice. Experience. Work activities in a specific method under qualified supervision. For example, if you spend 40 hours in a classroom, that is training. If you spend 40 hours scanning welds on a bridge under a supervisor, that is experience. False call. Identifying a good part as a defect. Grading unit. A specimen divided into sections for an exam. The Level 3 decides the ratio of flawed to unflawed units. Method. A discipline of NDT, like ultrasonic testing. Let's continue with more key terms. Certification. Written testimony of qualification. Certifying agency. The employer of the person being certified. Certifying authority. The person designated in the written practice to sign certifications. Documented. This means it is in written form. Closed book examination. A test where you cannot use outside reference materials. What is non-destructive testing? It is using technical methods to examine materials without impairing their future usefulness. It detects flaws, assesses integrity, and measures geometrical characteristics. A related field is predictive maintenance, PDM. For example, using condition monitoring like vibration analysis on a running motor to find indicators of failure before it actually breaks. The goal is cost-effective maintenance before performance is lost. SNT-TC-1A applies to 16 recognized methods. These include common ones like radiographic, RT, ultrasonic, UT, and magnetic particle, MT, as well as specialized ones like ground-penetrating radar and vibration analysis. As a Level 3 candidate, you should have a general familiarity with all of these. There are 3 basic levels of qualification. Before you are certified, you are a trainee. For example, a trainee should not work alone. They must work with a certified individual and cannot independently interpret or report results. An NDT Level I individual has the skills to perform specific calibrations, standardizations, specific NDT, and specific evaluations for acceptance or rejection based on written instructions. They must receive instruction and supervision from a Level 2 or 3. An NDT Level II individual is more advanced. They set up equipment, standardize it, and interpret and evaluate results against codes and standards. They are responsible for the on-the-job training of trainees and level highs and must be able to organize and report the final test results. The NDT Level III is the technical authority. You are capable of developing, qualifying, and approving procedures and establishing techniques. You interpret codes and designate which methods should be used. For example, if a project has no acceptance criteria, the Level 3 uses their practical background in materials and fabrication to help establish them. You are also responsible for training and examining Level 1, 2, and other 3 personnel. The employer shall establish a written practice to control the administration of NDT training and certification. This document describes the responsibilities of each level and the specific training and experience hours required for each technique. Crucially, it must be reviewed and approved by the employer's NDT Level III. Candidates need a mix of education, training, and experience. Employers can use documentation of prior certification as evidence of qualification for comparable levels. Table 6.3.1. A lists the recommended hours for Level 1 and T2. If an individual doesn't meet the full requirements, they may receive a limited certification for a specific task, which must be approved by the Level 3. To qualify as a Level 3, you have 3 main paths. Graduate path. a bachelor's degree in engineering/science plus 1 year of experience beyond Level II. College path: 2 years of engineering/science study plus 2 years of experience beyond Level II. Experience path: 4 years of experience beyond Level II. 2 requirements. These requirements can be partially replaced by experience as a certified Level II, as defined in your company's written practice. One final technical detail from Section 6.4. If you attend an expanded training program at a college with extra lab hours, those hours can count toward your experience. For example, if you need 1,000 hours of experience, you can only get a maximum credit of 25%, 250 hours, from these lab sessions. At least 75% of your experience must be gained in the field. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we will discuss the specific training programs for NDT personnel.